It's the holidays, and we find ourselves in a New York alleyway where none other than the city's friendly neighborhood wall crawler is taken by surprise. The reason behind this? Well, that's because someone dressed as good old Santa Claus isn't what he seems to be. You. But let's not get ahead of ourselves, because to fully appreciate the situation, we're going to have to dial back a couple of days before this Christmas encounter. It's nighttime, and the wall crawler is freezing his spider balls atop one of the Big Apple's many buildings. Still, old Webhead can't help but commend the good citizens of New York for getting in the holiday cheer. New Yorkers might have a reputation for being tough, but this time of year you can almost feel the peace on earth and goodwill toward men in the air. Spider-Man gets back to the usual superhero grind as he swings around the neighborhood in search of any crimes to fight. But this just makes him realize he has another problem to deal with. Whoa, the cold and frosty air. These sub-freezing temperatures are starting to gum up my webbing. Maybe I'll have to add some antifreeze to my web fluid or something. The realization that one of his trademark tools isn't optimized for the season's weather prompts him to come up with a solution. But there are other things on his mind right now. Eventually, Peter takes a short break from his patrol to land atop another one of New York's tall structures. Because right now, our boy only has one thought brewing around his super-heroic head. Look at them go, hustling and bustling about, shopping around, looking for that one perfect present for each person on their list. I've got only one person on my list, the sweetest, most wonderful person in my life. And I would do anything to make her Christmas perfect. If you can't tell by now, Spidey's thinking about none other than Aunt May. And in the middle of his musing, Spidey can only reminisce about the holidays he, Aunt May, and the late Uncle Ben had at the Parker household in the past. Uncle Ben and Aunt May were always so great to me, so very kind and loving. It was a lot for them to take me in after my parents died, and even though we didn't have very much, they always made sure that Christmas was special. He made it special. Pete remembers a particularly special year when Uncle Ben gave him a chemistry set under the tree. That same Christmas, Uncle Ben gave Aunt May a Christmas angel statue, which has since become a centerpiece in the Parker household. And then Uncle Ben wasn't there anymore. The Christmas angel came out every year, a remembrance of him and his love for us. Aunt May and I tried to make it as special as he always had, but it wasn't the same. To make matters worse, we find out that Aunt May had accidentally knocked over the cherished bauble last Christmas, causing it to break. And well, let's just say sweet old Aunt May didn't take it well. She cried so much. It was as if she'd shattered all her memories of Uncle Ben. She was so sad. Back in the present, Spidey decides that he's done enough patrolling for the night and heads on home. Now, back in his civilian outfit as plain old Peter Parker, he checks online to see if he can find a replacement for the broken Christmas angel statue. You can always count on that Parker luck too. For one, there's good news. He's located one online seller who's willing to part with the ornament, and they happen to be not too far away from Pete's location. But again, this is Parker luck we're talking about. The bad news is that the guy selling it wants 100 smackaroos for it. And as we all know, Peter Parker's greatest enemy has always been poverty. Oh, that pesky, pesky poverty. Aunt May then comes knocking on Peter's door, so he turns off his computer to keep from spoiling his surprise for the old lady. Once inside, Aunt May tells her nephew that they're going to be spending Christmas with their belts tied tightly around them. Because like we said, poverty is the worst supervillain, especially during the holidays. Still, Peter reassures his sweet old aunt that there's nothing that they should worry about. Aunt May. It's fine. We don't need a lot of presents. As long as we're together, it'll be a great Christmas. Oh, Peter, you're such a sweet boy. Well, okay. But don't tell my friends. The next day, Peter just gets all the more pressured thinking about a way to gain the funds he needs in order to give Aunt May her Christmas angel. Deep in thought, he fails to notice that Grade A-hole Flash Thompson is preparing to bully him with a snowball. Thankfully, Pete's always trusty spider sense kicks in before he gets hit with the snowball, causing Flash to go on a snowball fight with a random ginger meathead standing in the corner. Peter then changes back to his web, slinging alter ego to go on one of his usual rounds through the city. But there's just something stopping Pete from getting his head in the game. This is bad. I've crisscrossed town 3 times looking for any kind of criminal activity so that I can sell pics to the Bugle. Nothing. And now I feel bad because I'm hoping for something to happen. But for the past few weeks, it's been nothing but quiet nights. Everyone's happy. Everyone's safe. To add insult to injury, even the rest of Marvel's greatest heroes know that the holidays are a time for winding down and getting into the cheer. And if that wasn't bad enough, there's still the problem of his webs literally freezing moments after he shoots them. The problem is so bad that he ends up crashing on the Daily Bugle building's humongous logo before attending the company's annual Christmas get-together. But Spidey just gets back on his feet and changes into his civvies after that whole mess. At the party, Peter attempts to exhaust all possible ways to legitimately get some money for Aunt May's Christmas present. So he speaks to his boss, J. Jonah Jameson. Well, I was hoping for maybe an assignment. Things have been pretty sparse for me on the freelancing front, and I was hoping, sorry kid, I got nothing for you. It's Christmas time. All people want to see are pictures of kids and Santa, and I've got plenty of both. Now why don't you get out there and enjoy the party? It's almost over anyway. I gave them 15 minutes to celebrate and then back to work, but Mr. Jameson. The conversation just left Pete all the more depressed. Thankfully, Betty Brant is there to help him get his spirits up and give Peter a Christmas gift. Of course, our broke boy appreciates the super kind gesture from this super cute girl. Still, he ends up feeling guilty for being too broke and stressed that he forgot to give Betty her gift. After their short talk, Peter excuses himself from the party and says goodnight to Betty. Of course, this is just a white lie he told in order for him to get back into his suit and continue to scour the city for crime. Because to Spider-Man, all he needs is a couple of good photos of Spider-Man to sell to the Bugle and hopefully make enough cash to purchase that Christmas angel statue. Not long after taking to the streets of New York, Spidey finds a man dressed as Santa Claus running through a crowd of people and into a mall. So, the web-swinging superhero springs into action and accosts the wayward Kris Kringle. It doesn't work out as Pete had planned, though. What are you doing? Ending your crime sprees, pal. Let's see what you have in pillows. For my costume, I'm playing Santa at a retirement home. I was running late. Oh, I'm sorry. Happy holidays. You made me miss my train. Now, desperate for some money-making action, Spider-Man sees another guy in a Santa getup. This time, the dude is attempting to climb into a window of an apartment somewhere in the city. However, Peter soon finds out that he just fumbled things up again. Okay, buddy. Let's Santa, Spider-Man, Bob. Bob, I was trying to make Christmas special for my kids. You play along, and I won't press charges. Now, Spidey might be desperate, but a lawsuit is something he can't deal with right now. So, he agrees to Bob's offer and entertains the family for a bit. Afterwards, an exhausted wall crawler is just about ready to call it quits and head back home when he spots another shady Santa rushing off to an alleyway somewhere. Really? Really? The Santa burglar? Right here? I guess maybe I was a good little Spidey this year. 'Cause this is the best Christmas present a superhero could ask for. Spider-Man eventually follows this fake Father Christmas to the same alley from the beginning of our holiday story. As you'd expect, Pete gets on his game face and subdues the criminal. And it's here that we finally get some payoff, boys and girls. Dr. Octopus? There's a double bluff too, because Spidey knows this isn't the real Doc Ock. Sorry, Dimitri, I'm on to you. You couldn't be Doc Ock, 'cause A, Octavius would have used his arms on me by now, and 2, I sent him to jail last week. You should read the papers more often, so you just have to be the chameleon. Now, remember his frozen webbing problem? Yeah. Things finally take a turn for the better when Spider-Man's defective web fluid proves to be more than enough to blind the chameleon and force this janky villain to get absolutely bodied by a brick wall. And he's knocked himself cold. Another Christmas present. Now maybe if I can rush these photos to the Bugle. But let's not get too excited for Mr. Parker just yet. After defeating the chameleon and snapping a few pics to sell to the Bugle, Pete goes back to the office only to find out that Triple J has already left and gone home. So that means our boy isn't getting paid tonight. With no other option left, he just decides to go home. Later, inside Peter's room, he realizes that there might just be a way to save Christmas after all. Use his webs as a glue to fix the old Christmas angel statue. Wait a minute. Betty was right. A gift doesn't need to be expensive or new. It just needs to come from your heart. And now that I think of it, Aunt May wouldn't want a new Christmas angel. She'd want the old one, the one Uncle Ben gave her. Christmas morning comes, and Aunt May is absolutely touched when Peter shows her the same Christmas angel figure, now looking as good as new. And just to drive the point home that Christmas is a special time of the year, they discover that Jonah Jameson, sent Peter a check for $250 as a holiday gift. Yes, you heard that right, guys. Triple J literally gave Peter a check for $250 American dollars. It's nothing short of a Christmas miracle. Ha! Maybe we won't have to worry so much about the electric bill next month, Aunt May. Everything turned out to be a wonderful Christmas after all. There you have it, guys. We'd love to know your thoughts about this sweet little Spider-Man story in the comments section. We'd also appreciate it if you give us a like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more amazing superhero videos like this. That said, we'll see you real soon